Good morning guys, it is a Monday morning, it is the 1st of July, so it is the start of the Magical Hopathon readathon. Oh, I am dog sitting Marvin for a week and a half, so we have some company this week and I am ready to get started on my day in Hollywood Studios, go on my first attraction and read Collide, which is for the prompt reading a book I can binge. I can definitely read a contemporary hockey romance with character artwork on the cover, and I am obsessed with the colour of this book. I feel like I just want some more green books. I do have the day off today, so we can get a big start on the Magical Hopathon. I didn't do this intentionally for the Magical Hopathon, I just really wanted to take some annual leave and have a day to kind of catch up and reset and just kind of sit on the sofa and read. So the timing actually really worked out in my favour for that. I do have some things to do today, but we are mostly just going to be chilling out on the sofa and reading. So yeah, happy start to the vlog, and I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. It's 11 o'clock and I am about just under halfway through Collide. This is definitely binge worthy. I will not be putting this down the rest of the day. Like, I have every intention of just sitting here and reading this book as long as physically possible. It's just very addictive. Is it doing anything particularly unique when it comes to campus like hockey romance? Not really. It feels very, very reminiscent of The Deal by Elle Kennedy. We follow our main character Summer, and she has a real problem with hockey players. She's had bad experience with hockey players in the past and she absolutely hates them and swears them off. But for a project for a grad school application, she is forced to work with the captain of the hockey team. That's like a forced proximity, kind of enemies to lovers, but contemporary, so is it really enemies, that kind of vibe. But it's fun. Like, it's not unique, but it is so fun. It is very, very addictive and binge worthy. I really enjoy the chemistry between the characters, and I also really enjoy the backstory for Summer particularly. Like, yes, it's predictable, she's had bad experiences with hockey players, she doesn't want to be around them anymore, but I also do feel like it's been done in a more unique take on it, and I do think she has very valid reasons for being the way that she is, and it's all kind of feeding into this bigger character arc, and I'm really excited to get into the second half of this book and start to see some of that play out. On the surface it doesn't sound very original. There are kind of original elements and things sprinkled throughout. I just don't want to spoil anything, so I've given the overall. I'm literally just going to continue sitting here and go straight back into it because it's just really, really fun and addictive. And yeah, would highly recommend this if you are a fan of The Deal or Icebreaker. It's nearly 2 o'clock. I've been sat here all day, but I finished Collide and I did very much binge read this, so I think we can successfully say that I've ticked off the attraction prompt. I knew that I wanted to get a head start today. I didn't think I would have finished the first book halfway through the day, but I did know that Hollywood Studios would be the easiest park for me to take it off. That's why I wanted to start with it. All of the books that I chose for the prompts in Hollywood Studios were just like books that were really in my wheelhouse. Like, they're all contemporary romances, and this is a cute story. I think it's too long, but also I don't know if that's just because I binge read it in one sitting, but I don't think it needed to be as long as it was. It had a lot of moving parts. I think some of them could have maybe been removed because I didn't feel the satisfaction that I wanted to feel by like some of the elements. I said in one of the previous clips that I really liked the backstory for our female main character Summer, like in particular, and I did really like how that turned out, and I did love seeing how it all played into her character arc. And I felt like her arc was really seamless, and it does very much get a thumbs up from me. I don't know, I just felt like it could have been done in a little bit more depth if like one of those elements had been taken out or something, because the book just felt a little bit long and I didn't necessarily feel like I got the depth that I was looking for considering how long this book was. But I will say I really enjoyed the epilogue to this book. It was just very sweet and kind of what I'm looking for in an epilogue. An epilogue to me needs to be sweet and swoony. It needs to choose like the perfect moment in time that fits the storyline that we have seen, and I think it really works in this book. I can always applaud when an author is able to choose like the right moment to be the epilogue moment, and this was just so sweet and normal. Like we just see a very normal day. Sometimes like in epilogues you want to see big moments in these characters' lives, but I really felt like it was fitting for these characters to just see a normal morning in their lives in the epilogue and get some of the backstory of the years that we've missed. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really wonderful note to leave on. I can see why people really love this book, and I would 100% recommend it as a hockey romance. I will be reading the rest of the series too. There are more in the series, but I assume there are, just because I feel like the side characters in this were fleshed out enough and there were little hints at like romances going on that I feel like there is gonna be books on them. But yeah, would recommend if you like The Deal and Icebreaker. I feel like if you like The Deal then you liked Icebreaker, unless you can just lump those two in together. But if for some reason you wanted to know, I would say this feels a lot more like Elle Kennedy's series than Icebreaker. So yeah, honestly off to an absolutely flying start with the Magical Hopathon, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and watch. I've been in like such a Gilmore Girls mood lately, so I'm going to start a rewatch of Gilmore Girls and just like decompress. Like it's a month-long readathon. I don't have to be in a massive rush to finish stuff, and I want to make the most of my bonus weekend day, so I'm gonna start a rewatch of Gilmore Girls, maybe make myself cozy hot chocolate vibe for a little bit, especially because I will be tuning in to Rachel's reading sprints tonight, so I will get time to read later. Let's take a look at Marvin, shall we? I thought he was asleep, but he woke up to his name. He's such a lazy little thing. But he got me up so early this morning. Jack got up early to go to work and took him out for a walk, and then he just wouldn't settle. After that he was just running around the house crying, looking for Jack, which is weird because he's used to people leaving to go to work and I was still in the house, so I don't know why he was that upset by it, but he was very upset at Jack leaving him this morning. And now he's all tired out. It's such a long morning of keeping me awake that now he needs to nap as a result. Yes, I will catch up with you when it is time for the next prompt. I will be doing the snack prompt maybe, but I'll obviously let you know before I start. See you guys in a bit. First book of the, well, technically second book because I did my park entrance prompt but I didn't blog that. First attraction of the Magical Hopathon done. Okay, plenty of time has passed and I'm feeling ready to start another book. Do I think I'll be finishing it today? No, but I am gonna start my snack prompt, which is frozen cola and read a book with a summery vibe. And that for me is One Last Shot by Betty Cayute. I'm very excited about this one. This is a very summery contemporary romance about a supermodel and a photographer who had like a marriage pact growing up, but they've grown apart. It kind of, the blurb hints that there may have been some kind of conflict, and so our female main character, the supermodel, gets on this shoot in Italy with her childhood friend so that she can kind of reconnect with him and I guess remind him of this like marriage pact that they had. I'm not normally one for childhood friends to lovers, but I am intrigued by the marriage pact aspect, and it just seemed too perfect of a book for this prompt to pass up. So I have high hopes for this one. I'm in need of the summery vibes in book form right now, to be honest, because I've had quite the autumnal day. I feel like with like the Gilmore Girls and like the weather today and the fact that I'm cold and just drinking a lot of tea, like I just feel like I'm in a very autumnal space. So hopefully this book, the vibes of this book, can make up for the shitty English weather at the moment. Can't believe it's actually July, like that's crazy. I think it's also weird to me because like this is the first summer I've had where like I'm working full time, so like normally I have summers off and it feels like summer, but it doesn't really feel like summer because I'm still working, and the fact that it's July and I haven't had a break, you know, like it's just a weird like thing to experience because I'm so used to being a student. But excited about this one and I'm gonna start it now. I am 80 pages into One Last Shot and I am here for the reading sprints. I love Magical Hopathon reading sprints because just the way they're set up, it's a really small detail, but rather than just like choosing a time, you like choose a ride that you want to ride in Disney World and you read like the section of sprint is based on the queue time for that ride. And it's such a small difference really, but it just really gets the imagination going, really feels immersive. And then also I always play like Disney music or like Disney World music or like ride music in the background too, so I like really feel like I'm queuing, and it's just, it really adds to the vibe. I am kind of enjoying this so far. It feels very thought out. Apparently the author of this book is a booktuber, bookstagrammer. I didn't know that before going in, but it makes sense because I really feel like this author has read a lot of romance and it's very well thought out as to why, like how they're a good couple and why you're rooting for them is well thought out, but also why they haven't just like immediately got together or jumped into bed together. It's also well thought out. I feel like there's a really good balance here between things holding them apart and them having enough of a connection and being cute about each other. There's like an element of second chance to this too, and I do think it's good. One little note, I feel like the vibe isn't particularly lighthearted and summery. I think we'll deal with a dark topic. Based on the author note and the hint that I've got, I think this does deal with some darker topics. It definitely might be worth reading the author note or looking up trigger warnings for this, because it does have one that I feel I should point out. So whilst I am enjoying it, it's maybe not quite the really like easy breezy vibes I was going for. It's definitely not like dark harrowing story. It's like a rom-com set in Italy about a supermodel and her photographer, but there just is an underlying current of like something horrible has happened to this main character in her past. But yeah, I am enjoying the sprints. I will be here for the entirety of them, listening to my Disney music and reading One Last Shot. Don't think I'll be finishing it today, but I'm making really fast progress with it because even though it's really small writing, the size of the hardback is like shorter, which maybe means less words on a page. I feel like maybe I should know this, but I don't. I feel like I am really speeding through this book and able to read it quickly. Hopefully I will finish it tomorrow, but I don't think I'll be finishing it today. Let's get back to reading. This is probably going to be my last little vlog update of today, but I'm 177 pages into One Last Shot. Still enjoying it, but it's still feeling like a very meh book to me. Like this is probably going to be like a 2.5 star read for me. I just want a little bit more passion between our love interests. Like it is there. I still stand by the fact that I think this is a very well crafted book by someone who clearly reads romance, but there just feels to be some kind of chemistry missing for me, and I'm 177 pages in and there's been no action between our characters, and I don't even mean sex. I mean like they haven't even kissed yet. Like it's fine, it's a slow burn, whatever, but I feel like I just want some like hints that there is some heat in their relationship, because it kind of feels a bit friend-zoned now. But if you like yearning, then I think you would probably like this book. I also just wish the flashback elements took place when they were slightly older. I'm finding it really hard to believe the strength of their feelings when they're like the earliest flashbacks, they're like 15, and then like just going through high school throughout them, or slowly moving through high school. I just kind of wish slightly they'd been aged up a little bit, because the present day parts of this book, they're in their late 20s nearing 30, so like they could have been aged up slightly. But the whole point is that their like marriage pact is when they're 28, and that's 10 years after they leave high school kind of thing. So like, again, it's well thought out on paper, objectively well thought out. And these are just like personal preferences really. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like this book is anything particularly special to me. It's not going on my favorites, but it is definitely summery. I wish that I was like on holiday reading this, because I think it would really hit as like a sitting by the pool, like easy, relaxing read. Yeah, enjoyable, just not like a new favorite. But I am gonna stop vlogging for the evening. I'm still gonna finish out these sprints probably, but I just don't wanna like pick up the camera again. Jack's gonna be home soon, so I'd rather just chill in my evening with him. But yeah, I will catch up with you guys in the morning. Happy Tuesday, guys. I'm on my lunch break. I've just taken it. I need to let Marvin outside. It is absolutely freezing in this house today, and I am very excited to spend my lunch break cuddled up on the sofa with the dog under a blanket, reading a little bit more of this book and pretending that I am on a summer in Italy. I am probably gonna take like the world's hottest bath as soon as I finish work, because I am just absolutely freezing today. Come on, Marvin, go to the toilet. He gave the little camera a kiss, so you guys have had a Marvin kiss. He's not quite used to being in a house that like shares walls with other houses. My parents' house is detached, so he's like quite freaked out by all the noises he can hear. Like the walls are paper thin, and it's freaking him out a little bit. He will not leave my side at all, but he's adjusting a little better. He slept better last night than he did the first night, so we're getting there. He's just glued to me. I'm probably gonna take a blanket into the study with me later on in case he's getting cold as well. But yeah, I'm gonna eat like really hot, like some kind of food that you can get really hot. It genuinely feels like a winter's day in here right now. Like I just want to watch cozy TV shows. I've been listening to the Gilmore to Say podcast all morning. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and if you like to kind of like analyze shows and look at like threads across the seasons, and you're a fan of Gilmore Girls, then Gilmore to Say is a really good podcast for doing that. But yeah, I've had a very chill day. I haven't done any reading yet today, and I'm really looking forward to jumping back into this book. So I'll catch up with you probably towards the end of my lunch break when I've done some reading. It is now Tuesday evening, but I finished one last shot, so I have finished my snack prompt. I have now done the attraction and the snack prompt in Hollywood Studios, and it is only day 2 of this readathon. I have just the show to watch, which I will be reading book 4 in the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver for, and I'll also be reading that on my Kindle. It'll be the first book of this readathon, and one of the very few that I will be reading on my Kindle and not physically, so I think I'll be able to read that even faster, because I don't know what they put in Kindles to make them so quick to read the books on, but they just are. I think I enjoyed this more than I thought I would when I was reading it yesterday. Obviously like mood and tiredness and just how much I've been reading yesterday play into that and help. I think if you like Friends to Lovers, if you are really a fan of Friends to Lovers, then I think this is a fantastic example of it. But Friends to Lovers is just not my favourite, and so I feel like I would give this like 3 stars probably. It's not that the book was bad. I feel like if I was just rating it like objectively, my review would be higher. I feel like there was something that didn't quite resonate with me with these characters. I really wanted to care for them, but I just didn't have a good enough picture of them in my head or like really connect with them. The miscommunication got really annoying after a while. Like, it's very well thought out, very essential to the plot, and I think very essential to why these two haven't been able to make it work when they've been best friends for so long and they've like drifted apart. So you would expect that when they are like in love with each other and they finally reconnect, you would think they would just go for it. And I think the miscommunication acts as a really clever device to prevent them from like immediately getting together, or to prevent readers from like asking, well, why didn't they just immediately jump into bed together? So I think it works very well, but just like on a personal like note, I found it very frustrating, and I find that miscommunication and friends to lovers often go hand in hand, and it's just like another thing that I don't particularly love about the trope. But this book is very, very cute. I would look up trigger warnings for it, because definitely worth doing that. If you do just want like a summary, like a lay by the pool kind of read, like feels like a rom-com, then this is that. Also be prepared for like yearning and slow burn. It feels like these two really do have to get their friendship back before we see anything progress on a romantic front, which I did kind of enjoy. So yeah, all in all, my review of this is very positive, but I just have like a feeling that I can't give this more than 3 stars. So yeah, book's finished. I have a video to edit, so I probably won't pick up another book tonight, but we will reconvene when it is time for the show to start. Good morning, everybody. We are up bright and early and bushy-tailed today because it is Thursday, which means it is voting day, and I had to go with Jack before he left for work because we have to drive there, and he's gonna have the car at work today until after the polling station closes. So I had to get up much earlier than I normally would for my work from home life and go and vote. But voting and having your say is very important, so I would rather get up early and do it than not do it. And I'm gonna take this opportunity. Why are you crying at me? This is my view when I'm working every day. I'm taking the opportunity to get a little bit of writing in before work. I am trying out Scrivener for the first time, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm on the free trial right now, and honestly pretty sure that I'm gonna buy the full version because I'm obsessed with how this helps my brain write. I didn't think it would because I didn't see how it was that much different to something like Notion, but obviously Notion isn't, like for me, just isn't the kind of software that I want to write a manuscript in. Like I use Notion to keep track of all of my research and notes and ideas for the story that I'm writing, but it didn't feel like I had a good place to have everything all in one go. And I also thought that I loved Word, but I just kept hitting so many roadblocks, and I would sit down and it would feel like I had to like pull the words like very painfully out of my head, and it's just flowed a little easier with Scrivener. It does also help that I had a therapy session yesterday about my writing and why I'm so like scared to actually do it. So I got like quite a big pep talk from my therapist, which probably also helps me write a little easier. But yeah, I'm gonna get about an hour of writing in before work this morning. And also, I didn't update you yesterday on A False Start by Elsie Silver, but I am really enjoying this. I can see why this is people's favourites in the Gold Rush Ranch series, because Griffin is, Griffin is fun. I also think this could be my favourite in the Gold Rush Ranch series, but I also really, really loved Violet's book, so it's kind of like tied between Violet and Nadia's book right now. But yeah, it's very fun. It's brother's best friend, forced proximity, age gap romance, and it is like, well, age gap cowboy romance, might I add. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. So it's been a fun one for the readathon. I'm definitely on track to reading and finishing Hollywood Studios in the first week, which is fine by me. I know that I'm going to slow down as we get later on, so yeah, I am a happy little bean right now. I will catch up with you probably on my lunch break. I am now on my lunch break. Marvin wants some attention. I am very much looking forward to reading the rest, or not the rest, but another big chunk of A False Start. It's very much like what I want to do. I was having an argument about whether I wanted to write some more, but I think it's good to like step away for a little while, give my brain a little bit of a rest, because I'm doing my job at the same time. So I'm just gonna read this really fun, like silly little cowboy smutty romance that is just really, really fun. I'm so excited to see what happens next and what Elsie Silver does with it. So yes, this is how I'm gonna be spending my lunch break. I massively recommend this series, to be honest. the Gold Rush Ranch has been such a fun series, and it's really kind of filled the hole that Chestnut Springs left a little bit. Now I just have to wait for any new releases. I was correct. After this book, I have no new Elsie Silver books to read. Yeah, I'm glad that this one is fun, this one is hitting, and I will catch up with you guys when I have some thoughts. I'm not allowed to stop. Oh, he's discovered he has an itch, so he's leaving me alone now. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. I was kind of struggling to see why this book was like a favourite in this series. Like, it's really good, don't get me wrong, it has like really good tropes, like brother's best friend, age gap, you know, like it's fun and it's spicy, so like I could see why people liked it, but I was struggling to see why it's a favourite. And then I got about 60-70% of the way through and I kind of realised why. Like, the storytelling in this book is so good. It's like just so many reasons, so many things that these two have to overcome, and you finally think that you're getting somewhere and they're overcoming something, and you think, okay, this is not going to get boring because we're overcoming this, and then something else like pops up. And I think the storytelling is really well done in this book, and yeah, I was caught off guard by one of the conflicts slash things keeping them apart. I didn't see it coming or work it out ahead of time, and I do really enjoy when a book can do that for me, so I love this book. I'm probably gonna give it 4 stars, I think. I've been thinking today about, like, do I prefer Gold Rush Ranch or Chestnut Springs? And I do prefer Chestnut Springs, but if I had read Gold Rush first, I would still consider myself an Elsie Silver fan. Like, these are still good enough books that I would consider myself a fan of hers and read everything she'd ever put out. I don't think this woman can write a bad book. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that I read this book. And I'm nearly finished in Hollywood Studios. I have 20% of this book left. Less than 20% left. And then I'll be done with Hollywood Studios and it will be time to go to a different park. And I'm a little sad about that, I'm not gonna lie. So, I haven't really vlogged much this evening because I was catching up with my friends from home, and I've just had a really nice evening, to be honest. Very relaxing, felt like I kind of needed it. But I did finish a false start. I gave it 4 stars. I think I still prefer Violet's book, but this would be my second favourite for sure. I just didn't particularly like the, not even like the third act conflict, like it wasn't really like that, but like it happened around that point in the book. I didn't really like what happened there. I thought it was very, very necessary for the character arcs. Like, I'm not saying it was bad, it was like necessary for the characters and it fits so well with their stories. It was just like, personally, I didn't like it that much, so as a result of that I ended up enjoying the second book, which is Violet's book, more. But I enjoyed how much like on page time Violet got as a side character in this book, and I did really enjoy it, so I gave it 4 stars. I think this is my highest rated book of the readathon so far, so go me. And we are officially done with Hollywood Studios. I'm kind of sad about this fact. I really enjoyed being in Hollywood Studios, and also I'm a little scared because like now we've got to move to some parks that might be a little scary. Yes, Marvin, I know you want to play. I know you brought your turkey. Yes, let it go. We've got a turkey. This is all he's wanted to do all night, the entire time I was on my phone call with my friends. There you go, have it. So yeah, I'm kind of sad about Hollywood Studios. I think Hollywood Studios might be one that I come back to. I think like if I keep up this pace, then I'm gonna finish the TBR that I set for myself quite early on. Well, not quite early on, but I'm gonna finish it before the month's up, so go back and end up doing some other prompts probably, and Hollywood Studios might be the park that I come to for that. I don't really know what to do with myself tonight. I haven't decided if I'm gonna pick up the next, like, a new park or not, mostly because I haven't decided what park I want to go to next. I don't know, like, I've just finished a book. Do I really want to pick up another one? But also, what else am I going to do with my evening? I've done a little bit of writing, like not a lot. I wrote like 900 words today, it's not that, I'm not very happy with that amount. Like, it's gonna take me years and years to finish this if that's all I'm writing each day, but I'm just trying to tell myself that I'm building a habit and getting into it, and I'll get faster and be able to do longer stints of writing as I get further on. I think also some people might really enjoy this or think this is easier, but for me it's harder. I'm rewriting the early chapters. I'd already had them written, now I'm rewriting them because I basically wanted to change it from third person to first person, and I thought it would be easier to just start from scratch rather than trying to like translate it all. I'm finding it boring, to be honest, because I'm just rewriting things that I have already written before, and I'm finding it a very frustrating experience. I'm hoping once I get past this bit that I'm just trying to translate into first person and like give a refresh. I'm not like copying the other one out, I'm just completely rewriting it, but obviously I know the gist. But I'm hoping when I get to some like fresh things that I haven't worked on before that I will find it a little bit easier to approach the writing aspect. But you like guys aren't in this vlog for that, so anyway, I don't know what to do with myself for the rest of the evening, but I'll let you know if I decide. Good morning guys. We are up nice and early again this morning because I really enjoyed writing before work yesterday, so I'm doing it again today. Mostly because it kind of feels like then my day isn't solely dictated by my job. I saw this thing on TikTok or Instagram Reels or something like that, and I'm going to share it with you because it really resonated with me. It was about these two girls, and each day they text each other and they ask each other how they saved the day, and they define saving the day as just something that they do entirely for themselves. It can be big, it can be as small as like sitting outside for 5 minutes or like just taking a bath, but just something you do during your day that is not about like your work, especially if you work a 9 to 5. Like just something that you do each day that makes your day feel like yours, and like your weeks are not just entirely defined by your job. And yesterday, writing before work really felt like I did something like for me. It was so nice to like have a morning and then work and then have an evening. Like I was tired, and I definitely have to get used to these like longer days, but it made me feel so much better. So I'm doing it again today, and like I love my job, but no matter how much I love my job, I still don't feel like my entire life should be my job. I'm lucky that I have a job that is good about work-life balance, but I still find that like when I'm off I'm not doing that much, so when I look back on my weeks they just all blur together, like they're just work most of the time. So it's nice now to like wake up and write, and my brain is most engaged and switched on and creative in the morning, which I discovered during my master's degree. So it's easier for me to write in the morning as well. So I'm hoping if I can just get into this little routine, then I have like a dedicated chunk of my day to write every single day, and hopefully we will make progress on the idea that I have. If you are new here, I am trying to write myself a silly little romance novel, like for funsies. It is a second chance forced proximity, and I'm enjoying writing it. I don't think I'll do anything with it, but I just really want to actually finish something that I start writing, just to prove that I can. So plan of action for today. It is a Friday. I have work, but I think it's going to be a really fun day of work today. So we have that, and then I will pick a new park. I'm thinking either Magic Kingdom or Epcot, but I might like spin the wheel, to be honest. I might do it randomly because I just can't choose, and I think it'll be best to leave it up to chance. So I'm gonna finish off my words for the day. I'm gonna try hit my target for the day before work. I've got 45 minutes and I am over halfway to my daily word count goal, so things are going well. And I'll catch up with you guys later when we start reading. So I am officially on my lunch break now. I am hungry today, but we are gonna be spinning a wheel to decide what park I read from next, because I just really can't decide, so I'm gonna leave it up to fate, and let's do that now. And we click. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Epcot next. Okay, that is not a bad one. I will put my TBR for Epcot on the screen so you can see what we have in store. It's probably, to be honest, mostly gonna be in next week's vlog. So Marvin is crying at me because he desperately wants to play. So the first read of Epcot, I always start with the attraction. Like, maybe I should switch it up and not start with the attraction, but I am an attraction like girly when it comes to Disney. Like, I go for the rides, and I do check out shows and snacks obviously, but I am mostly there to go on rides, and I will kind of fit the shows in around the rides. What I liked about when I last went to Disney, when Jack and I went on our engagement trip, that was a much longer trip, so we had more than enough time to like do the shows actually. And I went to like the night we got engaged, like after we got engaged, we went to Walt Disney Studios, as it will be known no more, and the like Frozen like sing-along show in Walt Disney Studios, we went and saw that. So I do go to shows, I just will only really go to them if I have already planned out the rides. So I start with the rides in the Magical Hopathon too. So the first ride for Epcot we will be reading Send Nudes for, which I'm really excited. We've got like a little short story collection. This is read a book less than 300 pages, I believe. And I don't remember the exact ride, but I believe it's because it's a short one. So this is what we will be reading, and I will get started on that now. Hi guys, so I'm going to end out this vlog here. I only read the first short story of Send Nudes, but I think I'm just going to leave it for next week. I haven't really done any reading at all since the last time that I updated you, and we're pretty much into next week. Probably just going to do this by park, which I think will actually be a fun way of doing this. It's worked out nicely that the first park, Hollywood Studios, was a week long, so yeah, it's fun. And I'm probably going to continue spinning the wheel to decide where I go next. I enjoyed that too, so I discovered a lot of things that I'm enjoying this week, and I had a fantastic time in Hollywood Studios. So we started with Collide. I really enjoyed this. I read it all in one sitting. This was for a binge-worthy book, and I definitely binged it. Honestly, if you enjoyed El Kennedy, if you enjoy Icebreaker, if you just want some like more college setting ice hockey romances, then this is just a really good one to add to your collection. It's not doing anything particularly unique, but it's a fun story. Then I picked up One Last Shot for the Frozen Cola prompt, and I liked this one less than I liked Collide, but I think that's probably just because I'm not really a fan of Friends to Lovers. I just find it a little boring, and I never like really buy it, to be honest. I do think this was a good example of it. I do think there were a lot of pros to the story. It just wasn't one for me, like, personally. And then we picked up book 4 in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and I gave this 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. Elsie Silver can do no wrong in my opinion, and just the tropes of this, like age gap romance, brother's best friend, forced proximity, so good. And so next week we are going straight into Epcot, and we are going to be reading Send Nudes. Then we are going to be randomizing a book on my TBR, and then I think it's a romantasy, but I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, we'll let you know in next week's video. So if you guys enjoyed this vlog and you would like to see more of the Magical Hopathon, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for future content. I'll be uploading every single Wednesday and every single Sunday. Also do feel free to check me out on Bookstagram at apaigeinchapter, because there's a lot of like updates on what I'm reading in real time over there. So feel free to check that out. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. You're enjoying everything you are reading and there are no reading slumps in your future. And I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.